All right, so obviously it's an off day. Padres Nationals in DC starting tomorrow, and so I think it's a good time to look back at that Juan Soto trade, the initial trade, not the one to the Yankees. We can talk about that a little bit, but more the Nationals Padres 2022 trade deadline. Remember that was the deadline. The Padres got Josh Hader as well. Josh Bell was in this Juan Soto deal, and so looking back on it, let's review again the full trade. The Padres, they got Juan Soto, they got Josh Bell. The Nationals, they got a haul of prospects, and they got Luke Voigt as well. Don't want to forget about Luke Voigt. He was a vibes guy for the Padres, hit some bombs, the chest moss, all of that. CJ Abrams went to the Nats, Robert Hassel III, James Wood, Yarlin Susanna, and Mackenzie Gore. And again, the Padres, they get two main pieces, a huge one in Soto, and then Josh Bell, who it was some thump that you could add, you know, kind of platoon wise, right, into that lineup. And Josh Bell, he had some good postseason moments. Juan Soto had some postseason moments. I know he didn't come up with a huge hit like Jake Cronenworth, but if you go back and watch that game 4 against the Dodgers, who I believe hit the game tying RBI there, and I believe who scored during that Jake Cronenworth single. So he was a part of it. He was a big part of it still. Did his part, I think, for the most part in that NLCS. Obviously, the pitching ended up being a problem there, specifically in Philadelphia. But just looking back at this, AJ Preller, he talked with Bryce Miller. You can read that article in the Union Tribune just before this Padres Nats series, and he says, from our standpoint, we had a team we felt could win the World Series. We thought we had Fernando Tatis coming back before his performance-enhancing drug suspension. We were a few games away from the World Series in 22. Honestly, I don't look back at that one with any regrets, and that's where I stand on this. I don't think AJ Preller and the Padres should regret trading for Juan Soto. If there's a spot where you go all in, that's when you go all in if you're the Padres. You feel like you're going to have Tatis coming back because they made that deal before they knew what was happening there with Fernando. They make that deal, and it's like you're going all in. It's not just for that year as well. You also go all in because at that time, there weren't all of the big extensions handed out. Some, but not all, that are now. Xander Bogaerts was not given $280 million. There was a realistic, I think, especially with Peter Seidler as the owner of the franchise, there was a realistic thought like maybe we could get Soto to sign an extension. It was not a guarantee anywhere close to that, but there was hope there. And even if you don't, it's like Preller said in his press conference when they got Soto and introduced him. I remember in that presser as well, Josh Bell, my goodness, his shoulders so massive. Anyway, AJ Preller saying that we're going to get Juan Soto for 3 pennant races, and it ended up being 1 because they missed the playoffs last year, obviously, and they don't have Juan Soto anymore. So it sucks that it was only 1, but at that time, that's when you do go all in. The talent that you have, AJ Preller is one of the best talent evaluators in the game. He can build back the farm system, and he's already proven that he can do that after making those deals to continue to add. He still continues to add with big time pieces. We saw it this year with Luis Ariz and Dylan Cease. So that was the time to go in and make that move. You had Musgrove and Darvish healthy in that postseason run. You had talent there. You acquired Josh Hader. Like, you're going in. For me, personally, as a Padres fan, that 2022 postseason was the best Padres moments of my life. I had not experienced that before. I've never seen this team, my team, in a World Series. Haven't experienced it. I hadn't experienced them in the NLCS in my lifetime. So Juan Soto contributed to that. Josh Bell contributed to that. And I'd rather have my team go for it and they don't win than you hold back a little bit and you still don't win. Like, I want to go for it. And yeah, let's look at where the Nats are at right now. They're ascending, but here's the thing. The Nationals fans, while you don't want to lose Juan Soto, it was probably easier for them to lose Juan Soto knowing that he helped them win a World Series. They had the World Series in 19. Padres didn't have it. So there were different circumstances there. And the Nats, Mike Rizzo did a great job with this return. James Wood, when he came up with his debut recently this year, there was a lot of attention on James Wood, a lot of hype on James Wood. And yeah, would it be cool to have James Wood in the outfield with Tatis when he's healthy and Jackson Merrill? Yeah. But, also what was cool was seeing the Padres in the NLCS and feeling like, man, maybe this team could go win the World Series. And right now, sure, long term figure out the left field situation. Maybe that's not even a long term thing. Maybe that's a year by year basis. But you got Jackson Merrill playing center field. You've got Tatis and right. There's still the outfield, 2/3 of the outfield. It's in a good spot still, even without Juan Soto, without James Wood. And so Wood, so far this year, small sample size, but he has a 673 OPS, 246 average in 65 at bats at the big league level with the Nationals. I'm not even going to really judge that because that's just such a small sample size. He's a rookie. Remember CJ Abrams when he was a rookie? There was some struggles there as well. And Abrams now is an all-star. So, like, it's working out for the Nats. And it didn't work out totally for the Padres the way we wanted because they didn't win the World Series with Juan Soto. But that doesn't mean that it won't work out because they ended up flipping Juan Soto after 2 years, flipping him to the Yankees, and they got back Drew Thorpe, which helped them get Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease could help the Padres go win a World Series or get to a World Series, right? Michael King could help the Padres go get to a World Series, go win a World Series. Johnny Brito, Randy Vasquez, those guys could be depth guys. They could be traded elsewhere for pieces that the Padres want. Who knows? Kyle Gashioka, look what he has done. It would be nice to have Juan Soto, but considering the circumstances and how things have happened, we got the 22 run and some of the pieces that they got for Soto with that Yankee deal, they're impactful pieces. They're helping this Padres team win. Mackenzie Gore, he's still kind of finding himself a little bit inconsistent with the Nats. There's been some 6-inning outings, but there's been some 5-inning outings and 4-inning outings and 3-inning outings. So far this year, he has a 4.20 ERA. I think the Padres are going to be missing him this series. TBD on the starter for the Nats tomorrow. But Gore is not pitching the last 2 games of the series. Would it be nice to have Mackenzie Gore as an option in the rotation? Sure. But again, what sports are about, right, is winning. And as a Padres fan, I wanted Juan Soto on my team in 2022. I was so happy that Juan Soto was a Padre. And a bunch of Padres fans that are watching this, listening to this, were sharing those same feelings when Juan Soto was a Padre in 2022 and going into 2023 before, that happened, right? So, no, I don't regret it. I don't think AJ Preller should regret it. I respect the heck out of AJ for being willing because there's some GMs that would not have been willing to go do that because maybe they feel like they're risking their job, or at least risking a huge part of their future if a Soto deal doesn't work out. Because James Wood could end up being an all-star every season and be, the Nationals' next Juan Soto. CJ Abrams could be one of the best shortstops in the league here in a couple of years. Already an all-star. Mackenzie Gore could be a good, I don't know if he's going to be a frontline, but mid-rotation guy. Robert Hassel's been dealing with injuries, but I don't think the stock is totally plummeted on him. I think the Nats still are going to, believe in him. Susanna's throwing like 103 in the minors. So, yeah, there's going to be some highlights that we're going to see with these guys in that Nationals uniform. But what sports are about is winning, and I respect the Padres tried to win there, and they can still go win right now with some of the pieces they got back in that Soto deal. And what we remember is the moments, right? We don't remember every Juan Soto at bat, but what we do remember is some of those moments in the postseason. What I do remember is his first game as a Padre and how electric that crowd was at Petco Park. I was at that game. Unforgettable. The Brandon Drury Grand Slam. We remember the moments. We look back and smile at the moments. And could James Wood and those guys that were dealt could they have had those moments with the Padres, yeah, but I also look at where the Padres are at right now, and there's guys that make me smile and have good moments. Tatis, Manny, Jackson Merrill. I mean, I love having Jackson Merrill. And the Padres, they decided to put James Wood in that deal and not Jackson Merrill. I'm pretty sure the Nats wanted Jackson Merrill, and that was the guy the Padres kept. And look what he is now. Padres fans love that guy. He is all about winning. So that's another thing that could be like, no, don't regret it. Like, we kept a good guy. I'm not saying James Wood is not a good, like, yeah, really talented player, but Jackson Merrill, I love having Jackson Merrill on the Padres. So again, like the Nats, they were in a circumstance where they offered Juan Soto $440 million, and he said no. If you're a Nats fan, I don't think you could like fault the Nats for trading Juan Soto for all of this talent that they got back, and they'd already won a World Series in 19. And based on where they were at, they were trying to accelerate that rebuild, and they have. So I think it's working out for the Nats, and for the Padres, it didn't result in a World Series, at least as of yet, but they went for it. And as Padres fans, we're not the Yankees. We don't have 27 rings. I can't listen to my parents talking about 10 World Series titles that they've seen before I was born or anything like that. We don't have that. We're trying to win. And so I want my GM, I want my organization to go try to win, make those splashes that make sense. And at that time, yeah, Juan Soto made sense. So no, I don't think AJ should regret it. But yeah, give your thoughts in the comments. Would you regret it if you were AJ Preller? The Padres trading Juan Soto back in 2022, where they're at now, Soto not with the Padres anymore. Sure, was their best offensive player in 2023, but one pennant race. But I mean, it was a pennant race that created a lot of memories.